We may not win today, gentlemen, but we'll have a good time.
Alright, today Rob's gonna look at painting a couple of infantrymen for the warband, and we'll just kind of talk a little bit. You're kind of starting to talk about some of the ideas you got for painting them, so walk me through kind of what you're thinking right now. We'll do a little planning.
So I want to keep them kind of in line with the thugs that I painted earlier. Kind of same metal colors, same maybe some same accents and stuff like that, just to keep them all looking like a unit.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I was thinking maybe we could use that khaki tan on some of the parts for some of these infantrymen. But we might switch up the blue to something else. I don't know. I haven't really decided yet.
That's a cool idea. So maybe that kind of neutral khaki is kind of your unifying thing amongst everything, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Totally sweet. Love it.
All right. So how about this, maybe like a dark green for his tunic. We add that khaki that we had for the thugs.
Yeah.
Then finish it off with, like you were saying, that dark purple.
Yeah.
For some of those accents.
Yeah.
Some of those little detail pieces.
Just some fun. Yeah. Just play around with some colors. So
I have no idea if that will look good. But
we're gonna find out.
We'll see.
Stay tuned. Yeah.
So that's cool. You're like mixing and matching.
Yeah. They call it conversions. That's an upper level class. That's like when we're done here and you want to go on to graduate studies, kit bashing and conversions of mixing and matching parts for different kits. So I'm gonna kind of let you hit it. You just tell me like if you got any questions while you're going, and then I'll try to kind of peek over your shoulder and give you tips and tricks when you get to layering, some of the cloth stuff. If you're either gonna do that in tan or green, either color we can totally do. But I'm just gonna let you hit it, get some base coats down.
Cool.
Let me know if you got any questions while you're going. Play with these and put them up here. I'm gonna put these away though. These we shouldn't play with either. But anything over here, any of this stuff, Roby, you can play with all that, buddy. Okay? Yeah, sometimes they fall down, but we can always pick them back up. Watch them fall down, customers. One's a little bit deals with it, but I think anytime Bootsy does not like it, wakes him up. I think that's what the first wakes him up.
Well, now he's just pooped like all day long.
Dang it, son.
I know, because like before it used to be 2 times when he first woke up, and then 1 more time after his nap. Now it feels like it's every time I change him. He's got. I'm like, dang it! Gorgeous, man.
We're gonna change your legal name to Boots McGee. It's gonna be a hard life.
think of what color we could do, like the hilts and the handle of the axe there. Because I don't want to go with that brown, because it'll.
No. I think take this brown, or I think there's two ways. Take this brown and add some red to it to make it look like a warmer wood, or just take this like scar bloody red and make it look like it's wrapped in a crimson leather or something. If you did it in this and you put a brown wash on it, if you used the flesh wash, it would sink into the recesses a little bit and make the wrappings kind of pop a little bit.
Okay.
That could be a cool thing.
Or could we do that with the purple?
Totally. Absolutely you could. Then you're just kind of using that color for any accents if you wanted. Or I think you actually got it pretty good. I think you're cool. Maybe you use the purple for that. Right? Because these guys are pretty well covered now with a good base coat.
Yeah, there's a couple little details in here I wanted to go with that purple. There's
So
got a
do
little
it.
sash there and a little tie off or something like that.
Do it. Do it. I think that's a really cool idea. Especially if you come back in with a dark wash, it's going to tone that purple down and it'll look more like a royal purple kind of cloth or something, some wrapping.
Cool. I like that. Oh, yeah. I use the metals.
Oh, smart.
You just dump this in the
Yeah, I just dump it in the sink and I usually pour some water and like rub my hand around the inside just to get the flecks off of the walls of it, but yeah. A little rinse. Smart. I've trained you well. If you're layering, I don't think you need to wash the green. I think you could get a nice, you could probably use flesh tone. It's a good kind of mid darkness brown. You know, it's not a super light brown, not a real dark brown wash. I think it would go fine over the purple and the tan and the clothy undergarment kind of stuff. And metal. I like flesh wash on metal too. I don't know, it just makes it look the right amount of dirty but not like grungy.
Yeah.
And the faces, obviously the flesh wash should go on the face. And if you did that, but you left the green dry, you could just keep rocking out on the layers. Because you're going to get depth from the layering, you don't need to get depth from doing a wash on it. It just adds another drying time, I think. But,
Not bad.
yeah. Wherever you went with the previous coat, try to go not quite as far with this one, so you'll have a step in progression and
Like a thinner brush.
yeah, exactly. Like if you came out to here with, like say the whole thing is base coat and you came out to here with the first one, come out a little bit shy, and then it'll look like a really tight gradient to your eye. It's gonna be kind of cool too. I'm thinking of your your army as like being, again, like board pieces, gaming pieces, representing tokens, you know, on the battlefield. It's gonna be kind of cool to have your roles. You've got different colored robes and tunics for your roles, where these infantrymen are green. They've got your khaki stuff, but they're green. And then the thugs, I think, are blue. It might just kind of be another cool little thing that helps you recognize them on the board a little quicker, kind of know what roles they are in your head, you know, as you're moving and thinking. Yeah, I think that's
You don't want
smart.
to stop and be like, is this guy a thug
Is
or
it
an
thug?
infantryman?
Yeah. When you get used to that color coding in your own head, it might help you
Oh, definitely.
kind of during the game, just to not, you can't reference something, but you wouldn't have to sit and think so much. Look good, dude. Another couple of guys done.
Yeah. I mean, I'm continuing to feel better about it.
Mhm.
Actually, getting the brush strokes down and
Yeah.
knowing what I'm doing when it comes to like layering and
Mhm.
stuff like that.
Kind of getting a feel for how the paints build up. Like you're saying, it
Mhm.
wasn't as stark as you thought when you were layering up to that lighter green.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, cool.
And the whole time I was just thinking like, oh, I should have started here instead of doing this part, or I should have
And to
gotten
some
into that stuff.
to some degree, just painting more and more is going to give you that experience. You're going to be able to draw on what you did before. The more you do, the better you'll get. Don't.
Oh, yeah.
In some ways, when you're first diving in, don't overthink it too much. Get some painted. Just kind of get some experience doing it. You'll learn a lot from just diving in and painting.
Oh, definitely.
So, cool.
Definitely. I've got all these ideas of how I'm going to do it better next time. you
Yeah.
know?
What do you have anything that you would say for somebody who kind of understands painting now, has a basic kind of understanding of painting, and is going to go to do this layering, having done it like your first shot and just kind of your initial reaction stuff? What do you think you would advise to somebody who's going to do like a layering on some cloth? It's kind of got those folds and ropes and stuff like that.
My advice would be to not freak out while you're doing it, because it won't look the way it looks right when you put that paint on. Because once it dries, it'll actually fade in and actually blend in with the other layers that you put on. So, especially with that lightest green, like I was thinking, oh man, that's a harsh line. Like that's gonna stand out real bad. But once it dries, it actually blends in pretty well and ends up looking not terrible.
That's exactly what I was kind of thinking. Is especially your first time doing it, you might be tempted to say, "Ooh, I've painted this whole." When something's blocked out, like the tunic on this guy, and you paint that whole thing, you kind of have a line where it goes to other details and stuff, and it makes a nice hard point where you can stop that color, and you might feel a little shaky about painting freehanding where there's not a hard line, it's just that curve. But like you said, hey, don't freak out. Paints do, I think these mini paints, almost all of them, they look a little more tame once they've dried. And I think a big part of that is because once they've dried, to me it seems like, you put it on and there's on a really small scale, it's a little bit thicker when it's suspended in the water or the paint is kind of mixed up, and as it dries, I think it kind of shrinks down a little bit onto the mini, and it's not near as harsh of a finish on it. When I first started doing layering, I think I overdid it. I would mix in a little bit of a lighter paint so that it wouldn't have so harsh of a line. And to some degree, you're going to get a better gradient that way if you do just a little bit lighter color, a little bit brighter color. But really, even just a 2 or 3 step layering, it's easy to get caught up in when you're painting it up really close, you're going to see those lines where your paint starts and stops. But the second you set it down and you're looking at it from even a little bit of a distance,
oh yeah, you're never gonna see that. Like even 3, like probably for me, honestly, was a little overkill. Like from what I can see anyway.
Yeah. I bet it would have looked fine with just 2. Exactly.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
But
anyway, 3 is easy to do.
Yeah, it
doesn't take too much time.
Dude, I think they look great. I think you did it.